Hey guys, Miss Marflack here. We're going to go over the homework from yesterday, Reteaching 8-3, numbers 1 through 9. So we're going to start off here with log base 2 of 64. Our goal is to evaluate, which means that we're going to have to scoop and loop and rewrite this with our exponential form. Our exponential form here is 2 to the x is equal to 64, and you can kind of take a minute and count on your hands, and you're going to see that x equals 6. Even though we write x equals 6, when we do our final answer, it is just the 6, which I'm highlighting for us. So when we evaluate log base 2 of 64, it's just 6. You don't have to put x equals, you don't have to put y, just your final answer of 6. Moving on to number 2 here, still with the evaluating log base 4 now of 64. Scoop and loop around, and we're going to write in exponential form. Now, we can use any variable. I'm just going to keep it going with the x here. And we have 4 to the x is equal to 64. Well, 4 squared is 16, and then 16 times 4 is 64. So your final answer there would be 4 to the third. And you could always use a calculator to kind of check that 4 to the third is equal to 64 there. All right, here we are, number 3. We got a log base 3 now of 3 to the 4th. So we're going to rewrite in exponential form, and we have 3x is equal 3 to the 4th. And this is where we kind of have to remember those property of exponents from Algebra 1. This is our equality property. So we're able to get rid of those same base, and then we see that our exponents are equal. So our final answer here is just 4. Moving on to number 4, we got log base 10 of 10. Now we talked about the common log, and when we don't see a 10 or we don't see a base, we're assuming it's common log base 10. So I wrote that in there for us in red, and if you double check on your notes, and there's no little 10 there, and we put that in. And then we're going to scoop and loop around, and 10 to the first power is 10. All right, scrolling down here, moving on to the next one. You could always pause the video and kind of go back if I'm moving too fast for you. Here's number 5. We got our log, and we're evaluating log base 10 again of 0.1. Now, the last time we met, we put that big chart on the board. We went over different powers of 10, and we saw as we moved the decimal place to the left, we got those negatives. So 10 to the negative 1 power is 0.1. And you can always count the amount of digits you have after the decimal, and that will be your exponent as a negative number. Number 6 here, our common log again of 1, so we know that that's base 10, and then we're rewriting in that exponential form, 10 to the x power is equal to 1. Well, anything to the 0 power is equal to 1, so our final answer here is going to be 0, another property of logs from that Algebra 1. Here we are, almost done. Number 7, we have log base 8 now of 2. All right, this is where things get a little tricky. We did take a look at an example in class together, but we first always start by rewriting in exponential form. 8 to the x is equal to 2. And then now we want the same base. So we're going to take out that 8, replace it with 2 to the third, and then now using those property of exponents, exponent raised to exponent, we multiply. Now we have the same base, we can get rid of them, and then just set the exponents equal to each other. So we have 3x is equal to 1, solving for x, we have x is equal to 1/3, and there's our final answer, x equals 1/3. All right, so here we had two exponential properties, power raised to power, and then also our equality property. Scrolling through onto the next one, 2 more to go, we're taking a look at number 8. Directions are still the same. We're evaluating log base 32 of 2. All right, just like the last problem, we're going to rewrite this in our exponential form by scooping and looping around. So this is 32 to the x power is equal to 2. We want the same base, so we're going to take out that 32 and replace it with 2 to some power. Go ahead, count on your hands. I might have beaten you to it. It is 5. 2 to the 5th power is 32. All right, and then getting rid of those parentheses by multiplying the powers. And notice I just dropped in that 1. Even though we don't see it, that's 2 to the 1st power. Then applying that equality property, getting rid of the base, and solving for x. And then we can rewrite our final answer here when we evaluate log base 32 of 2 is just 1/5. All right, we're going to see if we can squeeze number 9 in here. I think we can do it. Here's the last one, number 9. We're looking to evaluate log base 9 of 3. Now, some of you may know this off the top of your head. That's okay, but we're going to go ahead and do the work off to the side and rewrite in exponential form, taking out the 9 just like the last two examples and rewriting with the same base. We're going to kind of skip a step here because I'm running out of room. We're first going to get rid of those bases, and now we could set the powers equal to each other, and we're going to get x is equal to positive 1/2. All right, double check all of your answers in your notebook.